The beginning of this town and community traces back to a simpler time where everything was revolved around the tracks.
Found the depot, and we're in talks with the city about acquiring it and redeveloping it. And I came into the process, and we started construction in March of 2015. Well, we had to work with the Historical Society on a lot of the development and making sure that we stuck with the original architecture and integrity of the building. So they had a lot of say in what we were allowed to do. But even, we wanted to keep the feel of the building. Kept as much as we possibly could. All the exterior doors are original. The floors in the main dining rooms are original. And for the most part, the footprint of the building hasn't changed since we took it over.
If you go to the depot and look at some of the pictures there, it was transportation that brought literally thousands of Auburn University students to Auburn as a way to get to college, and certainly as a way to travel back and forth from home to college and from college to home during their college days, and was just a transportation hub. So that aspect and the connection with Auburn University, but certainly through the years, military transportation, that it would transport young cadets that had gone to school at Auburn and had gone through the ROTC program that might ship out from here to go to different bases for training. Trains would come to Auburn, and then we had passenger trains, and they would bring people, and people could go anywhere and really in the country.
I do feel it's very much representative of Auburn, and this kind of, I think that the building itself and this particular venture is indicative of those kind of hospitality, warm, comfortable, inviting. That aspect of it is certainly a big part of the way we do things. It's not pretentious. You're taking something that's already well known and near and dear to locals and a lot of people, and you're sort of reviving it, and then you're presenting it in a new way to people, so that again, that continues to go forward into future generations. And hopefully people who have gone to Auburn, will look back on this. There are some places, Tumor's Lemonade or something, that are kind of iconic for the area, but we certainly are striving, and our goal is to make the Auburn Depot something of that stature that people associate immediately with Auburn and visits to Auburn.
Before they sold it, it sat idle for many, many years after the realty company that occupied it for probably 25 years moved out. It became dilapidated and in very, very bad shape. The roof leaked, windows were knocked out. It was literally starting to fall apart. So we put together an initiative for an arm of the city, the Industrial Development Board, to buy the depot and then facilitate finally a project that houses now the depot restaurant. It was pretty easy to identify that people wanted the depot to be saved, if you will.
This dilapidated building transformed into a viable and thriving restaurant, bringing a new life and generating tax dollars from residents and visitors to the city. But as you walk through the doors, the deep history from this building will always remain.
A lot of restaurants you go into and they're just a building and there's decor, but the actual structure itself is not as near as impressive as this building is. And I think that you get that feeling when you're going through the restaurant, which isn't the same as a lot of other restaurants. That's for the building kind of design itself is quite unique to the kind of little small boxes that most people go into. So I don't think a lot of other restaurants are so tied to the history of Auburn as this. That's so all the historical connection for our guests coming in. There's many guests that come in that will tell us of being in the building before and having memories already in the building. So that starts us off with kind of a warm welcome for a lot of people. And from there, guests who are coming in for the first time, or maybe someone who knows, of the building but has never really been in here before or hasn't ridden a train from Alabama to another city or Auburn. We try to recreate something special to have future memories and a legacy going forward with the whole restaurant experience. What we really try to do is say, okay, if you're here in Auburn, this gives you a chance to take a journey without getting on the train to different locations all around the world. We have food that, from my background, where I've worked in India, I've worked in the Caribbean, I've lived in South America and worked there, Asia, and all these different places. So the best foods and tastes that I've had in these coastal cities around the world, we bring to someone so that they don't necessarily have to get on a train and travel or a plane, but they can have that kind of experience here in Auburn.
The design elements and features of the building were my partner Jana Poirier. She's the one this is her vision, and she's the one that did everything from the booths to the curtains to the lighting, everything. But yes, her thought was a little bit of a throwback to the Victorian age and keeping some of that architecture features. The depot was a major hub. The main transportation, how people came to Auburn, how a lot of university students came at the turn of the century for school. A lot of them shipped out from here for the world wars and stuff. And so it's a very special place for the city and a lot of locals that love to see this building restored.
So thank you so much. The depot is more than just a building. It tells a story of some of the deepest roots of Auburn. Within these walls lies years of history, preserved in the revival of this historic landmark. This treasure was almost lost to destructive fires, laid dormant for almost a decade, forgotten, until one day it was repurposed for a new life as a realty office and local seafood restaurant. In its former life, the Auburn Depot was how everyone got to town, an important part of developing Auburn and a major population center for travelers around the country. What was once a place where townspeople congregated before boarding a train has become a place for townspeople to congregate once again. The Depot restaurant houses the restoration and revival of this well-known and loved landmark.